What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel, Movies and Reactions with Chris. You see the background, so you know what that means. Friday the 13th Fridays on Saturday this time, you guys. I apologize. I wasn't able to get the video out yesterday. I had some things to take care of. Getting ready to go back to school for what's going to be my final semester for 1 degree and double majoring this semester. We'll talk about that another time. So, today we're talking about Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. We are back at Camp Crystal Lake. So, with all of the introductions out of the way, take it away, J-Man. So Jason Lives picks up sometime after the events of Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. I'm not sure how much time. I'm not sure if they even specify. But this is like the climax of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, I would say. Basically because we are introduced to Tommy Jarvis in Part 4, the final chapter. Then we get him again in Part 5, In the Beginning. And then this is like the last appearance of Tommy Jarvis within the main continuity of the original franchise. Tom Matthews, who portrays Tommy Jarvis in this film, actually does reprise the role in the Friday 13th, the game that came out in 2017. So that's really awesome. And then he also did he was part of the fan film series Never Hike Alone. I can't remember when Never Hike Alone came out, a couple years ago. I saw the first one. I enjoyed it, and Tom Matthews cameos as Tommy Jarvis towards the end. And then I think I haven't seen Never Hike Alone in the Snow, but I heard that Tommy Jarvis might have had an appearance in that too as well, with Tom Matthews reprising the role. I'm not sure. You guys let me know in the comment section below. I have yet to really watch that one. I'll check that one out today because I might cover that as part of the film franchise. Just like to keep the Friday 13th Friday stuff going. Maybe I'll include those on here. But so Jason Lives, like I said, it picks up sometime after the events of Part 5. And what ultimately sets off the premise for this film is that Tommy is trying to make sure that Jason never comes back. He stays dead. Which kind of causes some continuity errors between Part 5 and Part 6. Because in Part 5, I think it was the sheriff who had stated once Roy Burns was started killing and they didn't know it was Roy Burns and everybody assumed it might have been Jason back, they actually stated that there was no way it could have been Jason because he was cremated. So this kind of creates some continuity errors, and I think the reason why they probably said that in that film was simply because they had no idea they were going to make a Part 6. Maybe Part 5 was going to end the franchise once and for all. I don't know. But we see in this film that he has not been cremated. He basically, they just put him to rest in the ground. So Tommy's actually responsible for Jason coming back to life in this film. What really happens is he goes there with the mindset that he's going to try to cremate his body, destroy it, whatever. And as he impales Jason's body with like some kind of metal rod, it looks like a fence post. Honestly, I don't think it is, but it's some kind of metal rod. He has a flashback of him killing Jason in Part 4, which I thought was really awesome. And it kind of caused him to snap, and he impaled it. He impaled Jason's body. What ended up happening, all of this is happening in a thunderstorm, similar to the dream sequence of Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, with Corey Feldman coming back at the beginning of that film. So what happens is all during a thunderstorm, he impales the body, and then the lightning strikes the rod and reanimates Jason. Jason kills Tommy's friend Hawes, and then Tommy gets out of there. And that basically, and that little clip at the beginning of this video with Jason coming out of the grave, that's where that came from. That's that scene. So Jason is alive again, and he's going to make it back to Camp Crystal Lake, which in this film is called Forest Green. They want to forget that Jason Voorhees was ever a thing. They're trying to move on. The camp is reopened. Like I said, it's called Forest Green. And one of the most refreshing things about this film for me, really I like the comedy aspect because there's a lot of meta humor. Like even with some of the kills are really funny because of the meta humor. And I'll include some of those in here. But another thing that was really refreshing for me, I finally figured out where that sound effect on Friday 13th the game, when Jason grabs somebody, I finally figured out where it came from. It comes from this film. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check it out. Let's take a second just to praise Friday 13th the game, because I love the continuity within the game, like how they do stuff like that. I always wondered where that sound effect came from. I didn't know. You guys have to understand. Friday the 13th growing up, for me, I didn't watch it like that. I was more into the Halloween series. I saw all the Halloween films. I did not really watch the 80s Friday the 13th movies. I grew up around the era of Jason X, Freddy versus Jason, those type of films. So I really started with the game. So I really like how the game incorporates the themes from the movies, the cat and mouse chase themes. Like I really appreciate all that. That was just a sidebar. So back to the film. The kills in this film. I really like that this film. Like I said, there was a lot of comical kills in this film, and not only that, I just love how the movie made it really apparent that Jason becomes supernatural in this film. He was able to do things a lot differently than in previous films. And like I said, the comedy is hilarious.
Darling, you're gonna be the death of me. Yeah, but what a way to go, huh?
Another positive thing about this film that I really like is that I think the kills really match the fact that Jason is supernatural in this film. And if you don't believe me, you can take a look. Yeah, that's one of the most brutal kills in the film. Sheriff Garris's death is also pretty brutal. So I gave you guys all of the good. Let's talk about the bad, and then I'll talk about the climax of the film and what I think about it. So the bad. I don't really enjoy the characters in this film that much. Outside of Tommy Jarvis, Megan Garris, who is Sheriff Garris's daughter, and then Sheriff Garris, who unfortunately gets killed by Jason in this film. I wish he didn't. And the kids. I think this is the only Friday the 13th film where it's set during a camp and they actually have kids at the camp. I think this is the only one. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section below. I'm pretty sure this is the only one to actually have little kids actually be at the camp. So outside of those three main characters and then the kids, because obviously I don't want to see Jason kill kids, which I don't think the MPAA would ever allow to happen anyway in the 80s, 1986 when this film came out. I don't care about the characters in this film. Those with the Friday the 13th films, some of the ones on my list that end up getting ranked the worst or my least favorites are the ones kind of like this. And like I said, this one is not in the bottom. This is like top 3 or 4 for me in Friday the 13th films. But the worst ones for me are the ones where I don't care about the characters at all. I'm actually there rooting for Jason to take them out. Those are the worst type of films in the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, this one is really good. There's a lot of positives. So, like I said, this one is not in the bottom tier of Friday the 13th films. But I don't like that. Tommy Jarvis spends like 1/3 of the act of this film behind bars because Sheriff Garris thinks he's nuts. And I like the portrayal of Tom Matthews of Tommy Jarvis. I thought that was good. But him being behind bars for like 1/3 of this film, I'm not going to lie, that kind of irks me a little bit because our main character is out here warning people, what's going on, what evil is going on. Jason's back, and they don't believe him. And it makes sense why they wouldn't, but for him to just get stuck behind bars for like 1/3 of the film, I didn't enjoy that. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else? The characters, and that's really about it, honestly. Those two things. Because this, like I said, this is a really good film in my personal opinion. This is one of the best. I've seen a lot of people say this is the best Friday the 13th film ever. I disagree. It's definitely up there for me. So the conclusion, how does this film end? This film basically ends with Sheriff Garris gets killed, unfortunately, protecting Megan, his daughter, which I thought was pretty heroic. That was pretty cool. I hate that he died, though. So he gets killed. Jason gets ready to come after Megan and finish her off, but Tommy is like trying to drown Jason. And that's another thing that I left out of the good. Tommy actually reads like some kind of Necronomicon book or something like that. I know it's not necessarily that. That's the Evil Dead franchise. But he reads some kind of book where he figures out how to stop Jason. Some kind of evil undead book or something like that. How to get rid of him. So I thought that was cool. So basically what happens is, as he's getting ready to kill Megan, Tommy calls Jason. And I don't know if Jason recognizes him. I'm not sure. They don't really imply it here. But he comes down to the lake where Tommy is. And what happens is they get into it. They get into like a little scuffle. And ultimately how this film ends is Tommy is able to get some chain around Jason's neck. And what's attached to the chain is like a huge boulder. Which kind of I don't understand, because Jason is superhuman. And he has superhuman strength. So wouldn't he be able to get out of it? We'll save it for another day, guys. So Jason is tied down in the water by this boulder, and how it ends is that Megan is able to take the motor, the propeller of the boat, and like run it up Jason's head or his neck or something like that. So Jason doesn't die in this film. This film actually ends with Jason kind of like seemingly alive, basically. So Jason Lives, you guys. I had a good time with this film. This is definitely, of the Friday the 13th films I have seen, I have now seen the first 6 with part 8. I've seen part 8, so that's 7. I've seen about 10 of these films. This is, up to this point, this is one of my favorite ones. I think I have heard... Because, like I said, I've never seen 7 all the way through. I've never seen 9. So I've heard that of the this film, from this point, Jason becomes supernatural. I have heard that this is the best version of that. This is the best film that deals with Jason as a supernatural character. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, even though I haven't seen all of part 7, I've seen enough reviews on it. I've seen a little bit of it myself where I can tell that it's a decent film, but there's a lot of things about it I don't like. I am going to rewatch it before next Friday when we do part 7 on on my review series. Part 9, I've seen bits and pieces of it, and what I've seen is horrible. So I really have a good time with this. I love the supernatural stuff. I love that they tried to go in a different direction, even with the little things like renaming Camp Crystal Lake. Like, I like that they try to do something new with this. A lot of times with these horror films, when people try to do new things, it actually ends up hurting the film series. My biggest example of that is part 5 here, Friday the 13th part 5, A New Beginning, where they had killed Jason off in the previous film, part 4, and then they tried to go in a new direction. I enjoy part 5 and what it tried to do. A lot of people hate that film. Another example I can say is the Halloween franchise with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, where you had the first 2 Halloween movies with Michael Myers, which were really awesome films, which really stand up today in the slasher film genre, and then they come with part 3, which had nothing to do with Michael Myers. And a lot of people say Season of the Witch is pretty good. I don't enjoy it. I'm just going to be honest. I think it's too far-fetched. I think sometimes you can reinvent things. Like, Jason is reinvented in this film, and I think that's why it works. They not only brought him back, but they found a way to bring him back and make him even more lethal than before. So I think that works here. That's why I think this is one of the better Friday the 13th films in the franchise. And yeah, so sometimes in a film franchise, it's a little too late to try to like revamp the character, but I think this film gets it right. I enjoyed this. My ranking on it, I'm going to say awesome. It is not flawless. This film has problems. There's things about it I don't like, but I say awesome. This is one of my favorite 1980s slasher films. I have a good time. I love CJ Graham's portrayal of Jason. I love Tom Matthews as Tommy Jarvis. I hate that this was the end of the Tommy Jarvis thing, but I wish maybe they would have brought him back in some of the later films that I don't like, but That's a topic for another day. Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. What did you think about it? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Is it your favorite? Do you disagree with my ranking? Do you think it's worse than Awesome, which is like the highest you can get on my list? Like I said, it doesn't mean it's flawless, but I enjoy this film enough to give it awesome time. So I will catch you guys next Friday when we talk about Friday the 13th, Part 7. I think it's The New Blood. Yeah, The New Blood. Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. So I'll catch you guys next Friday.